Happy Fragrant Friday, Fraghead. Hey everybody, this has Ben here at That Cologne Guy, coming at you with a new, Cleveland, Ohio got it this week, review. How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. Happy Fragrant Friday to you. And you have seen the title and the description, so you know I am checking out none other than Heeley, Sel Marin. And I will have much to say about that in just a second. But let me quickly say, since last Friday, yet again, my friends, we have had an absolute avalanche, a literal tsunami worth of new subscribers, and I really do appreciate that. My name is Ben. This is That Cologne Guy, and I have new content every single Fragrant Friday, so I really appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like, comment in this episode if you don't have too much to say about the actual fragrance itself. Always leave your scent of the day. I thoroughly enjoy that. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, please do so, and smash the notification bell, especially if you are on your phone, because that will let you know, when I have uploaded an episode. So with that out of the way, let me talk about this fragrance here. And right out of the gates, I want to go ahead and just let the cat out of the bag. You know what I think of when I think of this fragrance? I think this really is what a 4 out of 5 spray rating in my channel looks like. I'll be telling you why later in more detail, of course, but what strikes me about this one is this was an incredibly easy review for me this week. So here's how I stumbled across this fragrance. When I initially did my episode on best fragrances to put on at night and or on your bed sheets, this was a fragrance that came up quite a bit. And so I came across it then, and I came across it for a couple more top 20s, actually. And I included, if you watch me every week, you know that my top 20s, usually what I'll do is at the end, oftentimes in the bonus feature, I will have like future considerations. I will name like 2 or 3 fragrances that people have suggested I include in my top 20s, and it just didn't make it. And then if I redid the list, it probably would. But I haven't experienced it. I haven't sampled it long enough to say so. And this is one of the ones that came up on multiple lists, actually, where people reached out and said, you really should consider this fragrance. This is my first Heeley. So let's talk about the house a little bit. This is another one of those fragrance houses where it's an independent. He's the founder, and I don't know if he's the actual perfumer, but I know he's the founder, and he's an independent, and his name is James Heeley. He is British, and so I'm assuming he has moved to Paris because this is actually a French company. So it's interesting to note because he himself is English. But I'm assuming he resides in France because the company itself is French, and a lot of their names are French because of that. So this is about $100 for $180, for 100 milliliter. So it was just expensive enough where I really didn't feel comfortable buying a whole bottle. I wanted to sample it first. So that's the house, and then the actual name. So let's talk. So this is a French word, sel, and that means salt, and then it looks like marin, and that is marin, and that is, so it's Sel Marin, and it looks like Sel Marin. And so when you look at other reviewers, you will probably hear either Sel Marin or Sel Marin. But either way, it means marine salt. So does it smell exactly like marine salt? Well, stay tuned and find out. So that's the house, and that's the name. And then I also wanted to read from his site what they said about Sel Marin. Sun, warm, sand, and a gentle breeze of fresh sea air. A refreshing and striking note of lemon fades to reveal an aquatic green algae note, while vetiver and driftwoods of cedar and birch dry slowly in the sand and salty sea air. Does it really smell like that? Actually, it does. It does. That's a good description. But then it goes on to say, for men, this will smell like this. Okay, because this is a unisex fragrance. For men, it says, ocean-going sand boys like Jacques Mayol in The Big Blue, the film The Big Blue. I haven't seen it, so I can't say anything about that. And then on a woman's skin, it says, a radiant natural beauty, sun-kissed with bikini lines, of course. Okay, going to the cringeworthy element again on the description, but I will say that the name here, Sel Marin, and that description that they had about the fragrance itself really does fit perfectly. So kudos to them as far as the name matching the fragrance. Now, I will say here, some of these notes were very easy to tease apart, and then frankly, other ones I would not have gotten. I got 4, perhaps 5 notes out of this one relatively easy. You start off, I can definitely pick up the lemon at first. Then in the base notes, you definitely get vetiver and birch. And then in the mid notes, I got something like, I put like sea moss. But here's the thing: this is not. If you like Bulgari Aqua Pour Homme, the green one, right, the original. That one is like an aquatic with a dark sea moss, element to it that would work better. Actually, I don't like a lot of people. I don't even really see that one as a true aquatic. I think I would wear. I own that a while back. I really enjoyed that one, and I see that more as like a spring. And then a fall, winter, and a spring. Sorry about that. And then after that, I see this as kind of like the antithesis where I would wear it in the summer. So whereas that one has kind of a darker sea moss to it, this one has a very light, refreshing sea moss. I guess it's sea salt mixed in with it. Element to it. So where Aqua by Bulgari tends to be a little darker, this one actually is as bright as it sounds, and so this one fits quite well with a summertime, very fresh, clean, crisp fragrance. So those are the notes that I got out, but I do want you to know I would read on Fragrantica and just read all the other ones, because I don't know that I would have got some of the algae, some of the other specific notes themselves, like green notes. I really just get lemon, some sort of seagrass or sea moss, and then I get a vetiver and a birch in the base notes. But again, especially the vetiver, it's a very clean, crisp, refreshing fragrance without the shadow of a doubt. I really like that. I mean, it would be perfect for a bedtime sheet. You're to spray on your sheets before bed. Actually, it'd be perfect for that, because it does have a very clean laundry feel to it. With one possible exception for some commenters and reviewers. Let me actually talk about this in the notes now. Here's what you need to get out of this episode, if nothing else. On my skin, I get 0, and I mean 0 of the fish note element. But you need to know that a lot of reviewers and commenters, like on Fragrantica, will allude. This has come up with other fragrances too, like Acqua di Gio Essenza, where they say, it's the Helsinki fish market problem again. I just don't get that. I don't get this. I mean, I'm sorry, but the birch and the vetiver are really well blended here with the sea moss and seagrass and the marine salt and the sea salt. And so I just don't get that notion of, in fact, now that I think about it, for the Sel Marin could be marine salt or it could be sea salt, really. But I just don't get the fish note. I don't understand I don't know if it works on my skin differently, but I wanted you to know that a lot of people point to this fragrance as having a nasty or a fish note that really turned them off. I am getting 0, and I mean 0 level of the Helsinki fish market, which of course I have visited. So I wanted to throw that out before I moved on. When it comes to the notes, you should know that because I have 0 idea of where they're coming from. On my skin, this is really sea salt, aquatic notes, and I see this as kind of like the summer, almost like the summer version of Bulgari's Aqua pour Homme. I'm not saying it smells just like it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that in an ideal world, this is where I would wear this in the summer, and then I would wear something like Bulgari Aqua pour Homme the other 3 seasons. Again, and that's really what they have in common is like the notion of, aquatic notes and sea moss. And so that's where I wanted to make that connection. Okay, so now let's get to some of the bad news when it comes to longevity and sillage and projection. I'm going to connect that though with the house. One thing I should have said was, this isn't a direct quote, but I did find in my research this week where James Heeley himself said that he feels like fragrance is something that should be a personal experience, or a very intimate experience with someone very close to you. So he clearly feels that fragrance should not clear out a room. So it's my understanding, because I ran a thread in Fragrantica this week to see what people would say about the house, and it's my understanding that this is not really like a beast mode kind of house. I feel like fragrance is meant to be subdued and refined and sophisticated and intimate with this house. I think that's their goal. So the problem is, of course, for a niche company, is the question that begs to be asked is, do you want to pay $180 for 100 milliliter of fragrance that's going to last 3 to 4 to 5 hours that practically no one will pick up unless you are in very close quarters? And the answer for you might be absolutely. Everyone is so different about this. So I also feel like this is almost like the antithesis to a Montal or a Mancera, where you just have this kind of, you enter the room like Lion King and you say, I have arrived. This one is a much more subdued experience and a very personal, intimate. So this is a great house, again, from my limited knowledge, but definitely from this fragrance. This would be a great fragrance, if nothing else, for someone who really likes to wear fragrance just for himself or herself, because it smells wonderful. I actually find this one addicting just in the terms of smell. I really enjoyed the clean, crisp, refreshing element to this one a lot. This one did not disappoint, because remember I told you a lot of people reached out and said you should check this one out. It certainly did not disappoint at all, except for, of course, the next category, which is longevity, projection, and sillage. Now, when it comes to longevity, again, a little asterisk next to the lucky scent, Wingardium Leviosa, Harry Potter magic wands here that they could spend an extra 30 cents and get an atomizer. But I wish they would. But so I understand that I am working with dabs on my skin, so you should be careful with my categories and my hours. That said, I would say I got 4 to 6, closer to 4 when it comes to the hours of actual, being able to smell this on my skin at any point in time. I would say 4 to 6. It is very hot out, so maybe but then again, it's a summertime fragrance, so I was disappointed. I did not get a work shift or anywhere close. This would be a fragrance I'd probably have to spray on my clothes and even reapply if you want to get over the 8-hour mark. So I was a little disappointed with that. See, if you look at things like Burberry London, Touch, excuse me. So for Burberry Touch, that one on my skin has great longevity but low projection, and I like that. In other words, like, it'll stay long on my skin, but it just never really projects a lot. I like that. I have no problem with that. But when it comes to something like Sel Marin, it's hard to say 4 to 6 hours when you're looking at $180. So, maybe will I wait till Sel Marin Extrême comes out? Probably. But that is one thing I wanted to point out. And then projection is, projection is about an arm's length away for the first hour and a half. And then it really quickly starts to settle closer and closer to the skin. Sillage would be about an hour and a half. coming in our rooms, leaving a fragrance trail. I did, and it smells wonderful. And so, but again, it would not be for a very long time. This would be a great fragrance for my category of romantic night in. So you guys know I do categories when I do my top 10 or top 20 lists. One is romantic night out, the clubbing, going out for dinner, maybe even a weekend at a bed and breakfast. But if on the romantic night in is when you have somebody come over to your place, usually have a romantic dinner with candles, etc., etc., and so you'll be in intimate quarters quite soon. That is another one that would be great for a romantic night in, because again, it certainly hits a home run if you're looking at his philosophy that fragrance should remain relatively, well, first of all, personal, but it should be something that invites someone close to you, and it's a very intimate experience. And it's not meant to be experienced by everyone you work with. I certainly understand that philosophy. I understand it. I don't know that that's for me personally, but if that's what he was shooting for, then he hit it. I think I should have checked. I think it's an eau de parfum, and I actually, it took me a while to find. I found 2008 as the year that it came out, but you might want to double check that. It took me a little bit of multiple pages actually to find a date. I did get 2008 as the release, and I think it is an eau de parfum. So all the more reason why I would have liked more longevity, projection, sillage, and again, since I'm already coming out clean and saying it's a 4 out of 5 sprays in my rating system, I can tell you now I docked one spray simply because of the longevity, projection, and sillage. If you're going to go the Burberry Touch route, I'm totally fine with that. But it needs to last a full 6 to 8 hours at least. It doesn't have to clear out a room. The projection and sillage don't have to necessarily be there. But I do want someone to pick it up, including myself. Like, even if I can just smell it on my skin after about 7 hours, I'm probably perfectly fine with that. But I was disappointed with those categories when it came to Sel Marin. So when it comes to, this is a unisex fragrance. When it comes to gender, I would say this is definitely, so if we're going to do the feminine, unisex, and masculine, I would say this is right here in the unisex. And I guess if I had to commit, I would say slightly leaning masculine, but clearly in the unisex category, clearly. So I would say, if it's going to be called marine or sea salt, then of course there's nothing masculine or feminine about that. And so I would say you'd probably be looking at, let's say 60-40. I would say a 60-40 split, 60% guys and 40% on the lady side. I really think that this is a very wonderful fragrance that really doesn't give anything away in terms of gender. It's just it's certainly a refreshing and enticing, even an original scent. Actually, if there's something to be said about this in the world of aquatics, aquatics get bashed. Right, aquatics get bashed in FragCom because they kind of look down as on them, probably because of Aqua di Gio, but I'm not gonna go there. But you get my point. A lot of reviewers in FragCom frown upon and see kind of aquatic fragrances lowbrow, and that's unfortunate, I think, to me, because I think they're wonderful fragrances and I like them a lot, and this is no exception. When it comes to age, there's really no age on this one. I'll just say, I don't see too many middle school or high schoolers rocking this, but I would say 18 and up. Seriously, there's nothing that gives this away in terms of being youthful or highly mature or anything of the sort. And I like that about it. In fact, think about that. When it really does transcend gender and age. Big statement. Okay, I'm in a philosophical mood, but it really does, actually, and I like that about this fragrance. And I'll just keep going and tell you now, this is another one for versatility that would be off the charts. This would be perfect for any t-shirt. I've got my John Carpenter's Halloween t-shirt on, and it works fine. This would also work well with a formal setting, a suit. This would do well in any event, dress code, any attire. I like that about this fragrance a lot. So when it comes to summer, when it comes to summer, I just gave it away. When it comes to season, this one, as I said, here's what I was thinking before I hit record and I was making my notes. I see this as a great counterpart to a partner in crime with Bulgari's Aqua pour Homme. Again, not because they smell alike, because they do not, but I think if you had those two fragrances, you could rock this one all summer, and then you could rock Bulgari's Aqua the other 3 seasons. This is clearly a summer fragrance, or at least if nothing else, one to make you think that it's the summer. Sometimes we wear fragrances to take us away and take us to a different place. By all means, you could you could wear this fragrance and it would take you to a hot summer day, no doubt. So this is clearly a summer fragrance. But I was just thinking about that, when it comes to if you like moss and sea notes, you could combine the two. In fact, you could even layer the two. That would work out really well. Although, I have to admit, I do not layer fragrances. Let me know in comments if you also layer fragrances, wear multiple fragrances together in a sexy, unique combination. I've never really done that, actually. I know a lot of you guys do. So that is Sel Marin. A different fragrance, a clear 4. And I would point to this as the epitome of a 4 out of 5 sprays in my rating system. If this is your first episode with me, at the end of each single fragrance review, I end by putting the amount of sprays out of 5 that I give for the review. My rating is clear. This is a 4, and it's a 4 because I love everything about this fragrance. I think in a world of generic aquatics, I find this quite unique, and it lived up to what people said. In fact, it even surpassed expectations. Take that. All right. So I really enjoyed that. But I can understand the philosophy. My thing though is if you're going to make fragrances that last 3 to 4 hours and then still charge us $180 per bottle, I'm probably not your target audience. So I will wait for the extreme version, or I just simply will stick to my Acqua di Gio Essenza. I feel again this is not a clone, not a copy, not a dupe, but I feel like for me, I feel like this is a very fresh, raw materials kind of fragrance, whereas the Acqua di Gio Essenza, of course, is more synthetic, no doubt. But I'll probably stick to my Acqua di Gio Essenza bottle until they can work on their projection longevity, just because it's close enough that it doesn't warrant me buying a bottle, unless if you guys feel like you can get 8 hours by spraying on your clothes, let me know for this fragrance, and if I need to do like 10 sprays, then I will, because if that's what it takes for people to notice it and to smell for a full work shift, I would do that, because I really do enjoy the fragrance itself. It has been so much fun, and you can tell because, again, I seared right through it. So 4 out of 5 sprays for Heeley Sel Marin, marine salt or sea salt. Boom. Here, let me do this. Even though they're fake, I still want to. Boom. And really, really enjoyed, and just for you. And here's what I'll do. If they get an extreme version of this that lasts a long time, I will go out and buy it. And so I will reserve the 5th spray for that, because I would add it on, because really this is about as just... This is a wonderful fragrance, and so here's what I would do. I will hold this back as a 5th one just in case they improve their longevity, and I'll say Wingardium Leviosa, boom, just for you. You guys take care. Have a great week. Let me know what you think. Have you had Sel Marin? What did you think of the fragrance? Did you get 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 hours in terms of longevity? Did you get more or even perhaps less? Let me know if you agree or disagree with this review when it comes to this fragrance. Either way, I've had a wonderful time with it. It's a perfect aquatic. In fact, it is one of the best aquatics you could have if you are the kind of person that is more of an introvert and or you think that fragrances, should be personal and you like to have them close to your skin. Or if you work in a job where, as I said before, like if it's a fragrance neutral place, or if you're concerned, you work in a cubicle and you're concerned about others picking up your fragrance, but you like to wear, then this would be an absolute home run for you because the scent bubble, as it were, will be quite small indeed. And on that note, drop mic, drop Lucky Scent, faux dabs. You guys take care. Have a great week. And always remember, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody. So without further ado, I finally got my hands on a sample. And just like last week, it's Lucky Scent, so that means we're going to have faux dabs because we have the little Harry Potter magic wand here, Wingardium Leviosa. So I don't really like that. I won't be able to give you sprays at the end, but I will give you faux dabs because also like last week, excuse me, I am bone dry because I seared through this fragrance as well.